Welcome. So, today we're going to be talking about all of the things that we read or watched or listened to in honor of our dear friend Jennifer Brooks, who was a YouTuber here who passed away early last year, very suddenly, and we miss her a lot. So, we're doing this in remembrance of her. So, we hope you'll join us and check out her YouTube videos. And also, there is now an archive website. So I will get the link for you guys. I should have actually got that already. But it has her TikToks on there in case TikTok disappears. It has, more about her, how you can read like her Goodreads export document, Excel spreadsheet, and lots of other good stuff. So I will share that for you guys. And today, Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia is here with me. She's my co-host.
Hello.
Let us know how you guys are doing and what you read for Relive Jenny or what you want to read this year in honor of her, because I'm going to be continuing as well. So, and I know Faith from Faith and Books is also going to be doing that. So in her Discord, the next quarter, she's going to be reading a book that Jenny and I were actually going to buddy read, that Tiffany actually, her husband, recommended to Jenny and I. So we're all one big family here.
Yes. I feel like We Love Jenny is definitely not something that just takes place in whatever month we've done the readathon. It was like February last year, January this year. But like, I think all of us continued to read like Jenny throughout all of 2024, and we're going to throughout 2025 as well. So you're not limited if you didn't finish something you were working on in January, or you didn't get all the things you want to. It can be a We Love Jenny year every year, because it is for us.
Definitely. She read something that everyone would love.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Welcome, Stormy, Florida. And Natalia, welcome. Hello, Rianne.
Your cat is very cute.
Yes. Excuse me if I am slow to get to the comments today. I only have one hand at my disposal today. Hi, John.
Which tells you how talented she is, that she can do this one-handed.
And it's my left hand, which I am not as talented with. So thank you, Tiffany.
But she's still doing so good. Go, Christy.
I'm trying. Oh, goodness. Hi, Mimi.
Hi.
Welcome. Yes, exactly. That is exactly the website I was talking about.
Yes.
And I will grab the link here in a little while, but one-handed, it will take me a little while. Awesome.
I read What Moves the Dead last year for We Love Jenny, and it was one of my top books of the year. I loved it.
That's awesome. That sounds like a wonderful month. Wow.
Yes.
Frankenstein, What Moves the Dead, and romantic poetry. Very cool. All right. Well, should we do what we did last time and alternate?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Oh, well, do you want to start? I'll go grab the link.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. I said hi to Penny because she just.
Oh, hi, Penny.
So you just want to alternate?
Yeah. And I will grab the link while you're going in.
Okay. I actually got to a lot of the things that I said I was going to try to get to, so I'm very pleased. I had a very prolific reading month. I got a lot of reading done in general. So I think one of the first things that I said I wanted to read is something that reminded me of Jenny, even though Jenny didn't like it, and that's Ethan Frome. And that was one of the first things that I finished this month. I read it over the course of a snowy weekend because it's really cold and snowy. And she read it on Christmas Day, which is the most depressing thing to read on Christmas Day. And it was one of the last books that she wrote a review for on Goodreads. And I actually really liked it, but I think part of the reason that I liked it is because so many people don't like it and they have a really visceral reaction to it. So I went into it actually thinking I probably wouldn't really like the story itself or the characters. And I didn't like the characters, but they're not supposed to be likable. So I think having like lowered expectations probably really helped me. But I really like Edith Wharton's writing. So that was the main reason I wanted to read it. And I actually really enjoyed it. So it was a good start
Wow,
to kick off We Love
that's
Jenny.
great. The power of lowered expectations cannot be
Yeah.
understated.
Yeah.
And the opposite problem, like with like the newest Brandon Sanderson book where everybody's like, I'm expecting 5-star best book Brandon Sanderson's ever written yet. And everybody's like, 3 stars.
See, I went into that with lowered expectations because everyone who finished it before me that I knew didn't really like it. And I
That
still
was
was very disappointed. So, my lowered expectations didn't help me with that one, unfortunately. I think Stephanie's reading that right now. I'm wondering how far she is because she just popped in. Hi, Stephanie.
Oh, yes. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. I shared the site. I don't know if you guys can get it in the chat. Maybe you can screenshot it and save it from the screenshot, but there's that. And I will share it in the comments. I'll pin it in the comments after our live as well. Welcome, Stephanie. Let us know what you read. If anybody is just joining us, let us know what you read for We Love Jenny. We'd love to talk about it. Oh, sorry. I'm going to try. Sorry, guys. I hurt my finger this morning, and I'm going to try not to show it on screen because I don't want to give you like gore shock. But occasionally I might accidentally wave it into the screen accidentally, but I will try not to.
I mean, it is wrapped up, so you're probably okay.
It's really bloody though. it's kind of gross still.
Demonetized.
Demonetized. Exactly.
Poor Chrissy.
Not my best moment. Penny is here. Hi. Steak. Yum.
It's a good lunch.
Yeah, that is. I just had breakfast. I just had oatmeal right before getting on. That's funny. Yeah, Tiffany's on a roll. Didn't you do a vlog? You did a vlog that included Ethan Frome, right? That's the one that went live
actually,
today.
that just came out on my channel this morning. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that one, and there's one other book that I read for We Love Jenny also that was also in that vlog.
Oh,
so,
cool.
There's two of them. If you want to hear more in-depth thoughts, because I have very in-depth thoughts, especially on Ethan Frome. Like I even have a spoiler section. So
nice. It's like an Ethan Frome review vlog. All right. Oh, nice. So Stormy Florida read Esther. That's awesome. The Night Before Christmas by Gogol. Awesome. And The Twyford Code by Janice Howland.
Awesome.
That sounds very balanced.
It does. It's like a little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah. That reminds me. I don't think I put this down on my list, but maybe this will be my go for this round. I've been rereading Judges over and over again, and I did read which story? It's the woman who stabs the man with a tent peg. I can never remember.
Oh, Jail, I think.
Jail. Yes, I read the story of Jail and Deborah. Deborah the judge. They're the same. It's in the same 2-chapter chunk. Is about them in Judges. I think it's Judges maybe 5.
Yeah, it's towards the beginning. Something, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't remember a chapter either, but
yeah. So that was pretty fun. Jen and I had conversations about that. So that was fun remembering her as I was reading that. She did love an unhinged woman. Stabbing a dude through the head with a tent peg, pretty unhinged.
Yes, I know that that's one of the last things that she updated, but I think Ethan Frome was one of the last actual like reviews that she posted. I don't know that it was the very last one, but it was one of the last ones.
Wow. I never thought to check what was like on her currently reading. That is cool. Thank you for sharing that, Mimi.
Oh, nice. In Venice. Perfect.
Is the name a good representation of the vibe? Because it definitely gives a very specific vibe.
It does. It does. It might also be Unhinged Woman.
Yes.
The in the dark, you know.
Yes. I know, 70. This was unexpected. Oh, I know. Maybe she can read it from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder what heaven's going to be like and if there will be books. I sometimes feel like, won't we be really busy, like living out the things in books? Like, but I don't know. There's just something about sitting back and enjoying a well told story that's like, I would be kind of sad without that. But you know, you just don't know until you get there, I guess. Maybe there's something better. Hi, Dia. Welcome. Nice. And they're both, are they both by Dante? Is that correct? Selection, no, Canon's Air. Dang, I remember I watched your TBR, so you described him there, but it was a bit ago now. I feel like La Vita Nuova. I feel like that might have been by Dante.
I can't help you with Italian pronunciations. Sorry. Definitely not. Oh, Dia said it's Petrarch and Dante.
Petrarch. Okay, thank you. I was thinking, I don't think the selections was Dante. I was like, I feel like that was something else. Okay. Thank you. Not this type of book. That's probably true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll be missing books.
Yeah.
But
I always imagined Grandpa sitting down with God for a spot of tea. Oh, cute.
So I love it.
Me too. That sounds heavenly. There are moments on earth where we feel like, you know, this is close to heaven. This has got to be close to what heaven is like.
Yes.
Both are poetry. She would approve. Very much so. Do you want to go again, Tiffany?
Yeah. Okay. So I also read Caraval, which was like one of Jenny's favorites. Like she loved that whole trilogy. So I read the first book of it. I did not sadly love it as much as she did. I thought it was fun though. Like the premise of it was really a fun idea of kind of like these really high stake games on like an island, and but it's like very romanticy vibes. Which is typically not my vibe, but I wanted to read something that Jenny really loved. So it was a fun ride.
You can usually expect that with a Jenny favorite. At least, even if it's not like a 5-star read, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. The idea of it was really fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, heaven on earth, exactly. As she would say, heaven is a place on earth, and that place is fill in the blank. Yay, hi. Oh, awesome. Ooh. I added, maybe because of you, I added Journal of a Plague Year to my 2026. Gosh, years. Yeah, 2026. We Love Johnny TBR.
What did you think of it, Faye? I'm curious to know if you liked Journal of a Plague Year or not.
Yes, tell us your thoughts. And feel free to let us know your thoughts on any of those books that you guys have been mentioning.
Yeah.
We want to hear your thoughts in depth. Berlin Alexanderplatz. That is such a fun last name.
It is. Doesn't it make your own last name feel so boring when
Yes.
someone has a last name like that?
I think I'm going to change my name. Berlin Alexanderplatz by Alfred Dublin, which was when she won.
Christy Alexanderplatz, Dostoevsky. What a mouthful.
Oh my gosh. If only I had read Berlin Alexanderplatz before I read Dostoevsky, that would have been my channel name.
Missed opportunity. It's time for a rebrand.
Okay, let me scroll up. All right. Jenny suggested reading Dante. I brought the book. YouTube recommendation. Jenny did a video on books to read before reading Dante that I'm going to watch. And then maybe read. Nice. Oh, she's sending you on a journey then. You have many more books to go.
Yeah. I mean, Dante is one of those books that really Dante just really intimidates me in general. So starting with some things to kind of lay some groundwork, it's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Definitely. Speaking of which, my main read for We Love Jenny was Purgatorio. However, my library hold went back before I was able to finish it, and I never got one back until like 2 days ago. So I didn't quite finish it. I have like 2 cantos left, unfortunately. But I guess my problem, the imagination is there. Like the thought is there. The original translation I was really enjoying because it had end notes at the end of each chapter. And I could just very easily access them on my Kindle. My Kindle doesn't really do footnotes very well. Like it just takes too long. It's a dinosaur. So the other translations that I was able to get and try to read it with, it just didn't work. And I never got that original translation back. So I haven't finished it. But I was really enjoying it. Although I do have a feeling that I was still mostly understanding the summaries more than the actual poetry itself. The poetry is just like, whew, very over my head.
Maybe it would be one of those things that would be beneficial to like read a summary first to familiarize yourself with like where it's going, and then like the language and like the format maybe wouldn't be quite as much of a hindrance, because that's what I do with my daughter when we're doing Shakespeare. So we'll read the story version, so the language isn't quite as much of a hindrance once we actually dive into the plays.
Yeah, there's summaries before every canto in the first translation that I was using, and I was like, "This is great!
Yeah, that's amazing.
I understand what's happening." And then the following ones, one didn't even have footnotes, and it didn't have summaries.
How do you have Dante without footnotes?
I know. I was like, "What the heck is this?" And then the second one had like the summaries were like, it was more like keywords, and it was like not actually sentences. So that wasn't very helpful. So yeah, I guess I would say the translation probably does matter. Which volume, which ones you buy, how much commentary there is, it does, I think, matter with Dante. But I unfortunately can't tell you which one's the best. In school, we read Mark Musa, but and he was great. Dorothea Sayers, I enjoyed. I've also read hers, but I feel like Mark Musa was more readable. So, yeah. So that's my review on that. I really, really enjoyed parts of it, though. Like, as much as I got of it, I just felt like it was expanding my imagination about. I didn't know anything about purgatory because I'm not actually Catholic, so it was really interesting hearing kind of thoughts about what things might look like after death. Not that there's really any biblical backing to any of this, but it was like, boy, if man can come up with this, if the imagination of man can come up with this, the imagination of God is just even more expansive and brilliant.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it definitely was like awe. It definitely gave me a feeling of awe, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah. It
Seems
was
like
great.
one of those ones that you'd benefit further, like, on each reread because you'd just
Yes.
be more familiar, so you'd be able to glean more of the nuances.
Definitely. Definitely. Because I've read Hell twice and I really enjoy it. So I bet if I read Purgatory twice, I would enjoy it even more. So I'm glad Jenny is finally getting me to finish. And next year I'll probably read Paradise.
There you go. I love it.
Yes. So that was my main We Love Jenny read.
Yeah, see, I've heard that from a lot of people. I think Jenny loved all of them, but a lot of people have been like, "Don't even bother with the next ones," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't even love the first one, so that just furthers my resolve to maybe not continue."
It feels like to me the way she would read something like Caraval, it kind of reminds me of how you read June Her. Like, just read it quickly and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And if you read it quickly enough, you might not notice the flaws as much.
I don't think I read it quickly enough because it was exclusively a bedtime read, so it took me a little while to get through it because I just kept falling asleep. So, not because it was boring, but because of the time that I was reading it.
Oh man. Okay. I'm afraid I soft DNF'd The Last Man by Mary Shelley, which I
Okay.
apologize to Jenny for, but I had too many heavy reads going on and couldn't read as much. That is okay, Faye. Do not worry. I feel like Jenny would support this. Don't stress
Jenny
yourself out.
supports all DNFs,
Yes,
honestly. Soft DNF or hard DNF. Jenny supports it all.
definitely.
I DNF'd our group read last year, so saying. And I felt bad. And then Christy's like, no, Jenny would champion you DNFing this.
Yes.
Even though she loves it. She'd be like, no, if it doesn't work, just toss it out.
She was the last person to want to put stress on anybody. Like, she was like anti-stress in relationships. Nope, no drama, no stress.
I saw that when I went to like a bookstore in January. I was like, there's a novella and it looks Christmas. What is I was like really
What
confused.
is this?
So I did see that. I was like, hey, I just finished that book.
Wow, yeah. So really, wasn't this kind of an older trilogy?
It is, yeah. So it's interesting that there's a holiday special novella that just came out last year. I
I
don't
feel like she
remember when
would
the
have been
last one
all
was
over
written.
that. She loved a
Yes,
holiday
she would
thing.
have. And to go back to like a world and a series that she loved, like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe
Although
it's
I
not as
know.
old as I thought it was. The
Oh.
last one came out in 2019.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not that old.
So it's not as old as I thought it was. I thought it was
But
a
when
lot
did the
older.
first one come out? Like, was it every year that there was one
Yeah,
coming out?
2017 the first one came out and I thought it was more like 2010ish. So it came
Yeah.
out like a lot more recently than I thought. So it doesn't
Yeah.
it's like a 5-year gap.
Yeah.
But
That's still quite a ways though.
the cover looks very Christmassy. Like it's got a star and like red stuff all over it. It's called Spectacular.
Spectacular. Oh my gosh.
Jenny would have loved it.
It sounds like fun. I know she didn't really like short things so much though, so I don't know. Maybe she would have loved it.
It
I
says
think
it's
she probably would
200 pages, so it's not like crazy short. 200
have.
pages is
Okay.
not.
That's yeah. Oh, sweet. So Faye did like the plague year.
Oh, good.
But mostly it confirmed that people have always responded the way to pandemics. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Anytime I've studied anything about like, the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the world changes, people are still people.
Yes. I know, right? Thank you, Tiffany. If I ever need a channel revamp, I know what
Saying.
to do. Oh, nice.
I have not been in a Barnes and Noble in like years. I used to go, but there's not really anyone very close to us. So I usually buy
And you
used
get
books.
good deals at the used bookstores that you go to. So it's kind of like, why?
I mean, a
Why?
50% off sale is great. So
That's true. Is it online too, or is it only in store?
it's probably some of it is online, I would guess. But I don't know if it's different than what's in the store.
That would be cool. I'd be all over that. Oh, nice. Mixed
Oh, that's
media
the
is
key
fun.
thing. Mixed media is fun. Makes it feel so unique.
Yes. Ooh, buddy read time.
Okay. I'm in, Stephanie.
Sweet. I mean, if you guys read the whole thing, I'll read Paradise with you.
It might take us the whole year to read it. Maybe it won't take
Honestly,
Stephanie that long because she reads really fast. But
it doesn't take normal people that long. It just takes me that long.
well, I
it's
think I
it's
would
really
be
not
like trying to understand everything. So I think it
Mhm.
would take me that long
Okay.
to read all of it.
I could see doing like a canto every day or something like that, maybe for like 3 months. Ah, interesting. Yep. It's all in what interests you.
That's the nice thing about Jenny's recommendations is that she had such varied tastes that you're going to find something she liked that you'll like too. Something.
Yes, definitely. Oh, it was Mafia. Okay. I don't know why I first read that as mixed media stories, and I was like, did she? I didn't know that. Okay, Mafia stories, yes, definitely. Oh,
I
yay.
love that. She made scary stuff like that. I say scary because it's like is known for being really intimidating. But she took those kind of books and made them feel like they were accessible and less
Mhm.
scary. I love that about her.
Agreed. She would give you the quiet confidence that you could do it or DNF it if you didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Do you want to do your next one, Tiffany?
Oh, sure. Okay. So since Christy said one that she didn't finish, I also did not finish Peter the Great by Robert K. Massey, but I was pretty sure that I wouldn't because it's humongous. So I got about 20% of the way through that. I like it, but my problem is that what I'm really interested in is the Russian Revolution and the Romanovs. And like I want to read Peter the Great and Catherine the Great first, so I have like the context for what set
Mm.
Nicholas up for all the things. Um, but I what I really want to read is like more of the Romanovs. So I'm struggling with it a little bit, but not because it's badly written, just because I'm like, oh, I'm so far away from the time period I actually want to be in. So, but I
Yeah.
have all three of Robert K. Massey's books. Actually, I think there's four, but I have three of them. I have like Peter the Great, Catherine the Great, and Nicholas and Alexandra because of Jenny's recommendations. So
Mm. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that one makes sense why it's not finished yet. It's very long.
it is really long. I'm really enjoying it on audio. The audio narrator is really really good. So
Mhm. I know
highly
the
recommend
beginning was a
that.
bit of a rough start for you, so you're liking it better now?
I am. I do still like it.
Okay.
It's just again, I'm really interested in like the Bolsheviks and the Romanovs,
Yes.
like all that
Yes.
stuff. So it's a me problem. It's not a book problem. And I am going to finish it, but it might take me a lot longer than I originally anticipated. And I'm okay with that.
Mm, totally. It's a project for 2025.
Yes.
Nice. Mimi is reading the blog.
I'm so
Awesome.
glad you shared your blog, Faye. It's
I
cool.
know. I'm so glad you started your blog.
Yes.
blog. It's a video where Jenny explains her top 10 authors and what she likes about each of them. It's very interesting to see the different merits of each one. Yeah, man, she understood SEO.
Yeah. She
Just
sure did. The
such
queen.
interesting stuff. Hello, Faith. Welcome.
Hi.
We were just talking about you. You can share about your book club if you would like, your theology book club, in which we are reading The Question of Canon by Michael J. Kruger. Yeah, that's kind of when I was thinking Caraval was published. But I guess,
too.
I mean, it makes sense that it was published after, because Twilight made young adult literature really take off. So then,
and Hunger Games, but Hunger Games was
true.
Was it earlier than Twilight or after Twilight? Around the same time.
I
In the
guess
same couple of years.
it made romanticy take off. Hunger Games made dystopians take off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because then you had Divergent.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. It's still like just it reads similar to other YAs of that time period of like early popular YA romantasy. That's what it reads like.
Nothing that breaks the mold too much, but it was a
No,
fun.
but if it had been written in that time period, maybe it would have.
Yes, if it had been written earlier.
But in 2018, maybe not so much.
It was a throwback.
It's still like I said, it's fun though. Like the setting is very fun.
I thought it sounded fun when I heard the description.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
okay. That makes sense. Yes. I don't know what this was referencing. The B&N bookstore sale, maybe?
Or us reading Dante together.
Oh, yes, of course. Sweet. Nice, Faith. Wow. Awesome. That is an accomplishment.
That's another scary one for me.
Yeah.
That one's actually on my 40 before 40 list. I was debating between Paradise Lost and Dante, and I was like, Paradise Lost is shorter. That's why it went there.
Is it? I thought it was long for some reason.
Well, at least when I look up like Dante stuff, because there's different volumes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's Inferno and Purgatorio, and
I think a lot of it is commentary. Like that's what makes it longer. The actual poems are not that long.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, there's 30 parts to it, but they're all like, I don't know, 4
You're right. It probably is like editions that are on like Goodreads or something that have a lot of commentary and footnotes and stuff, probably.
That's my experience. Like at least half of it is commentary in mine. It's like a lot because there's just so many. I mean, which you might want to read all of the footnotes, so maybe that does make it longer.
Yeah,
it would be.
Except for that one edition that didn't have any.
Yeah, except for that one. That was so random. It's like, what are we doing here? Paradise Lost is like really intimidating to me though. I read that in school and I was like, I mean, I did Dante too, but it was like Paradise Lost was way over my head. Yes. Absolutely. Ooh, Stephanie liked Paradise Lost.
Oh, cool.
But Faith didn't love it. That's
but she appreciated it.
She appreciated it. I get that feeling.
I'll let you know. I'm still a ways off from it.
Nice. Nice. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna start it too, actually. As soon as I finish the last 2 cantos of Purgatorio. Yeah, I'm super excited. Oh yes, please join Faith. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely joining. Divine Comedy is longer. Okay. Really? One volume. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
that's
curious.
when I looked at page counts online, that's what it looked like, which is why I chose it. So I
Okay.
made the right choice.
Yes, apparently.
I was about to be really scared.
No, I mean, hey, you knew the page count of that going in. That one's obvious. So. I just thought Dante was shorter, I guess, than I realized. I guess it isn't as short as I thought. Yay! Excellent. Dia, are you a poetry person? It seems like you must be to love them both.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
cool. I love that. Yes, definitely do it.
My
I hope you'll
husband
join
highly
us.
recommends it.
Mhm.
I've not read it, so.
Right. Why don't I pull up my next one here? Let's see. I feel like maybe not everything is listed here, but I'll do my best to remember everything. Okay, so well, Tiffany and I are watching a show together. Should we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is season 2. We described it already in our first live show, so I won't describe it in depth here. But we did discover as we're watching it, we're 2 episodes in. So far, it's not a romance. So that separates it apart from like, I don't know, 70% of K dramas. A lot of them have
Yeah.
romance in them at least. And so far, this one doesn't really have romance. So that's kind of fun. And it's like a Western, but it's set in Korea. So we didn't expect it. It's like a comedy Western.
Yeah, the vibe is completely different from season 1. So I think I was telling Christy, like, if I had watched this right on the heels of season 1, I don't know if I would have liked it as much because I loved season 1 and like loved the vibe. And since this is so different, I might have been kind of like, wow, this feels like it's not even the same show at all. But because it's been a little while, I get to be back with characters that I love, and it doesn't even bother me one bit that the vibe is like totally different. Definitely
Yes.
doesn't feel as like horror centric either as the other season did. I mean, there is still a little bit in there, but it's really not. It feels less intense, I think.
Yes, I agree. It is still like horror is a subgenre, but instead of the main genre being romantasy, the main genre is Western. But
Yeah.
there's still fantasy elements. It's like fantasy Western, sort of.
It's fun. It's
Yeah,
really
it's really fun. It's very Korean fantasy, we should say too.
fun.
Like they'll use terms that Western viewers and readers might be familiar with, but they use it in a very different way.
Yeah.
Like they use the term demon for things that we would be like vampire, you know, or
Yes.
zombie. So yeah, it's very Korea, even though
Yeah.
Western sounds like it shouldn't be Korea, but it is.
Mhm.
And it's
It's
set,
interesting how the same word can have like very different connotations in different cultures and languages.
yes, exactly. And I don't think I even shared the name, but it's called Gumiho 1938, which I think it's also called Tale of the Nine-Tailed 1938
Mhm.
because like the Korean name is Gumiho, but I don't think I've seen any English language titles, but Gumiho is nine-tailed fox. That's the Korean word for a nine-tailed fox.
It's
So,
on Amazon Prime, and on Amazon Prime, you will have to search for Tale of the Nine-Tailed, I think, to get it to come up probably, because
okay.
that's what it's like. That's the English title that it's listed on Prime Video.
Okay. Tale of the Nine-Tailed.
So, I mean, if you typed in Gumio, it might still come up actually, but
I
like
just
that's
googled
what
it,
it's listed as.
but it's like when I googled Gumiho, like the Korean version came up. So, here's the English. Oh, but it's so small. I was hoping for a bigger picture.
Yes, Dia, it is like I actually was saying to Christy, it is like the Korean version of Mistborn Era 1 and 2, and how different
It
they feel. And
is.
one's very serious and intense, and the other one's like funny and Western, like just very different vibes.
Yes.
And it reminds me exactly of Mistborn Era 1 and 2, honestly. That's a very
That is like
accurate description.
yes. That was the perfect description.
Yeah.
It is like it's for air too.
I mean, there's even like a train robbery, but then there's also some interesting tensions because it takes place in 1938. The Japanese occupation of Korea is happening at the time. So
Yes.
there's some interesting historical elements in there as well, which I'm not sure totally where we're going with all of that because we're only 2 episodes in, but it is playing a role. So,
Yes. So we're planning to continue, and we love it so far.
yeah, very much so.
Okay, let me see if I can find where we left off here. Oh yeah, Tony. I'm wondering where Tony is. Where are you, Tony? We miss you. Maybe he'll watch on rewatch. But Tony is hanging out in Discords lately, so that's cool. And he has his own channel, so.
Yes.
All right. Where did we leave off? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find it.
I think the last thing was Faith saying listening. Yeah, listening on audio. That's a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I can enjoy the poetry better if I'm listening to it, probably, rather than just reading it.
That's true. You know, the nice thing is it was written in English, so you don't have to contend with 6 different translations and then the audio narrators finding the matching one. That's my problem with Dante. I think if I could find a narrator that matches the translation I'm reading, I would probably enjoy it even more.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you could read along with it. But right now I'm having to do the screen reading thing, and it reads, you know, footnote 93, you know, next right arrow, you know, image, you know, it reads like everything on the page. So it's
oh my gosh.
It's a bit, yeah, it's not the best. Line 100 and, you know, 60, it's like, okay, I got it, thanks. Okay. I think, sorry guys if I missed some. I'm having trouble keeping track.
I don't think you did. Before that. There weren't any before that.
Okay, thanks.
Because Faith typed that literally like right as we started talking about Tale of the Nine-Tailed. So.
Oh, perfect. Okay, excellent. Oh, so I was at the bottom.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're right where you should be.
Excellent. Thank you guys. You are moderating yourselves well. Although we do want to hear all of your thoughts. So yeah, don't feel like you need to moderate yourselves. But oh, that is nice to have teachers. I think that's why Jenny loved Dante so much, is because she had a whole class on it and it was really in depth and she was able to see the brilliance of it. And it's so gossipy, you know, she enjoyed that kind of thing. Finding out the medieval Italian gossip, the medieval Italian tea. She would want to know it all.
Italian tea.
Ah, yes. Korean cooking in Korean. Language is essential in giving following recipes. Yeah, that would be really fun. To actually, I've been thinking what Korean language videos could I do? Because a lot of times Koreans would want me to speak in English and use Korean subtitles so they can work on their English. I feel like whereas English speakers, they don't really want to listen to my halting Korean and then read my English subtitles. So I'm like, oh, how would I do this? I don't know. Did I just do subtitles in both languages? And I don't know. I have to figure it out. I have been daily vlogging on Instagram though, and doing it in Korean. So you can always follow me on Instagram if you're wanting to check that out. But I really appreciate the suggestion because I would love to do that.
I am enjoying your daily Korean vlogs as someone who is like very, very at the beginning of my Korean language learning journey. It's wonderful because I can pick out some things that you're saying here and there, like a word or two. So the fact that you talk a little slower actually works so much better for me.
Okay.
So selfishly, I think it's marvelous.
Well, thank you. That's really sweet of you to say. I know, since we're using the same curriculum,
Yeah.
You're gonna know a lot of the words that I'm using because they're from that curriculum.
Yep.
And we
Claire
watched.
picks it up faster than I do, though. She's really good at it. She must get it from
She's
her dad.
just soaking it up like she was already
Yes.
a few weeks in. She was reading lyrics along to the songs, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Wow, that was
So
really
she can
fast."
sing the songs that she likes in Korean. She doesn't know what they're saying exactly, but she can sound it out easily, like so quickly.
That's
It's amazing.
impressive. Super impressive. On the Adrian Schiller audio.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I'm writing that down. Thank you,
Yes.
because I will
Good.
probably read Paradise Lost next year
Excellent.
or the year after. Or the year after that. I got a few years.
Yes. A couple more years till 40. You're good.
Yeah, I still got like 4 years, so
You got plenty of time.
yeah.
Maybe by that time, I'll be ready to tackle it with you.
Okay.
Anytime you're like, I'm going to tackle this classic, I'm like, I'll do it too. So probably I'll join you. We'll see.
All right. Well, if I do Dante next year, I'm not doing Paradise Lost next year. I'm only going to do one for each year. I'm not going to do both in 1 year. That feels really overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh, man. I know. That's why I'm like, 1 volume a year. Perfect.
Yes.
That's exactly my speed.
Way less scary.
Ah. See, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this because I thought if
So
we had
too.
done that, I would have enjoyed Don Quixote instead of reading like we read a bunch of excerpts and it was like, oh, okay, so it's the same thing over and over again and nothing really changes. That's what it felt like from the excerpts. So I wasn't like enticed to keep reading, but actually reading it in the original Spanish, that would be super fun.
I know some people have read it in the original Spanish and they find it even more humorous because probably some of the humor is lost in translation.
Probably. I mean, honestly, learning another language is so fun, partly because the sounds are so different and you catch things like rhymes and alliteration and stuff that you wouldn't catch in
Right.
translation.
Yeah.
And I am currently reading Twilight in Spanish. Mainly
Fine.
because I have read it so many times in English that I practically have it memorized, and it's very easy to read in Spanish.
Nice.
So that's what I'm reading in Spanish right now.
You need a Korean version next.
Yes. I just got the Korean Harry Potter, which is what I started with in Spanish. I put it off for so long because I wanted to read something in Spanish for my Spanish practice. Like I wanted to read a Spanish book, but
Oh.
I'm having trouble fitting that in. So I thought, well, I mean, technically it is a book in Spanish. It just wasn't originally written in Spanish. But the fact that I've already read it just helps my brain a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. You're such a polyglot. I love it. It impresses me.
I mean, one of our friends on Instagram from Michael Nipp's Discord was like, everybody's amazed when I tell them I know 4 languages, but what they don't know is I'm at a first grade level in all 4, you know?
Still impressive.
That's how I feel.
First grade level is more than me in most languages, so except English.
Oh, thank you, Dia. That's so nice. I was like, oh, my mom's enjoying them. Cool. I'll keep doing them.
And your friends.
It's nice to hear you guys are enjoying them too. Thank you. Really?
Love it.
See, that's a good idea. It would be a good bedtime read. It's very like levity. I mean, there are moments of poignancy that I remember reading where I was like, "Oh, that's really sad," but I feel like it's mostly levity. Perfect bedtime reading.
Mm-hmm.
I usually reread classics that I've read multiple times for my bedtime reading, like Jane Eyre or Sherlock Holmes. Those are my go-to classics for bedtime reading.
They're just so cozy and they feel nostalgic when they're ones that you've had like your whole life, that you've read them so many times, you know?
Exactly. Or Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. let's see. So we both talked about Gumiho 2. Do you want to go again?
Sure. I have like a couple more things.
Okay, me too.
So another one we already mentioned the vlog that has Ethan Frome on it that came out on my channel today, but it also had The Foxwife by Yangtze Chu, because it's a wintry vlog, and both of those were like very wintry books. And The Foxwife is not one that Jenny read, but because we just mentioned Gumiho, it really reminds me of Jenny because she loved like fox mythology, like the nine-tailed foxes in Korean mythology. And I actually read like a YA romantasy last year that she loved. That was like nine-tailed foxes and stuff. So I read The Foxwife, and I really liked the mythology in it. I didn't find I was like super connected to the characters, so some of the emotional stuff didn't land for me. But like the mythology and lore really did land for me, and is what kept me like reading it and enjoying it. So I wish that Jenny had read it because I feel like it's one that she probably would have really liked. There is like this like, I mean, not full unhinged woman, but like the main character is a fox and she is seeking revenge. And she doesn't go full unhinged, but like you're wondering the whole time if she's going to. So I can see Jenny like really loving the main character of The Foxwife.
She does like a revenge. Jenny did like a revenge tale.
Yeah.
Gotta say. When you mentioned the Sophie, was it Sophie Kim? Was that the author?
Yeah, last of the Talons or the last Talon, something like that.
Yes. So there's a new book out, and it has Gumiho in the title that I noticed. It was at the library when I was picking out my next books for my next haul. I was like, the next one is out. Too bad I DNF'd the first one, but I really want to read
finished it, but it was like very dark, like enemies to lover romantasy that I was like, oh, yep, this is why Jenny loved this. Yep. Yeah, the last of the Talons. I mean, I still gave it, looks like I gave it 3.5 stars. So I enjoyed it.
You
Didn't
enjoyed
love it, but I enjoyed it.
it.
And actually, now that I think about it, it's not just so much foxes. It's the oh man, what's the what's the creature in the first season of Tale of the Nine-Tailed?
Dokebi?
No, it is a Dokebi, the main male, but like the evil thing, Umugi.
Oh,
There's
the
an Umugi in
Amugi,
it.
that's right.
That's why she loved it. So because
Yes.
she she loved the Amugi in Tale of the Nine-Tailed, and I was like,
Yes.
he's so creepy, and she's like, but he's really hot. It's like, okay, Jenny. Which when I read Caraval, I was like, I feel like she's not as interested in the male lead. I think she's into the guy that's like orchestrating all this, who's like kind of dark. And then I go and read a review, and yeah, she was. I was like,
we are getting to know her tastes very well.
She loved a bad boy.
She did. That's so funny that you could pick it out.
Oh man.
Oh
So
man.
funny. Love it.
Love
There's
it.
a bad boy in The Foxwife too. It's kind of like a love triangle happening between these three foxes. And I feel like she would have rooted so hard for the bad boy fox.
That is probably true, actually.
You read that, didn't you, Christy, last year?
I did, yeah. And so did Dia.
Yeah.
We read it together.
She would have been a big fan of Shiro, I think, who is like the kind of the not
You're
as
probably right. I found her taste sometimes hard to nail down in a lot of ways, but her taste in men was really easy.
Yeah.
That was not hard.
The underdogs and the bad boys.
Yes. And the priests.
And the priests, the hot priests.
The holy men. She would like a holy man. A lot of times the really sweet K-pop boys who were like really religious, those are the ones that she would love most. It's like the Catholic.
Not always the bad boy. Not in real life. She wants the fictional bad boys.
Right. Bad boy in certain
she could fix them. Yes, she could.
But in like K-pop artists, yes, she could fix them. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
That's funny. Okay. It is. It's reliable.
That's how I just reread Anne of Green Gables last month, and that's how that felt to me. So cozy, like coming home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Or
Isn't that
something.
like mermaidy too? I feel like it was.
Oh. I like a
I feel
mermaid.
like I looked
That's
up that, and the cover is like really cool.
Ooh. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it is.
Chlorine Jade Song. Well, I'll show you guys. I had the Gumiho book pulled up because I wanted to double check it. So I'll show you that. And then we can look at chlorine. Isn't it cool? It looks like a webtoon cover. Exciting.
I didn't love the other one, and yet I want to read that.
I know, right?
And I probably won't love that one either.
I know.
It'll probably just feel too YA romantic-y for me, but
now I'm too curious. I have to see chlorine. Oh, it is mermaidy. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm totally adding.
So cool, isn't it?
I'm totally adding that to my TBR. Thank you.
Some of them have like red
mermaids
with the tail on it too. So some of them are blue.
I like that even better.
Like. But I like the red one because I feel like the tail pops more on that one. But
yes,
I bet you one is paperback and one is hardcover.
And red green feels so. Is it Chinese influence?
I don't know. Song is a Korean name.
Jade Song. Oh yeah, it does quote the vegetarian.
Yeah.
Ren Yu. Could be either way. Ren Yu is only 2 syllables. Usually Korean names are 3, but then we have Chaeson. So some of them are 2 syllables. I can't tell. Anyways.
It doesn't say where it takes place. Like if it takes like it I mean it's swimming, she wants a scholarship, she's got a coach, all this stuff. It's like that could take place in America or it could take place somewhere else. It could do either way.
Red and green to me a lot of times feels very Chinese-y together. So that's why I was like, oh, is it? But
that's it's a debut too.
Ooh, really? Oh, I didn't realize that. So she's a new author. That's exciting. That's very Jenny to read a debut.
Yes.
Check out the hot new author on the block. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which would probably mean Jenny loved it and gave it 5 stars.
Probably. I gave it like 3.
The only tail she liked on a man was a fish tail. That's right. Oh, we had that conversation, didn't we?
That's funny.
I forgot about that, Faye. Oh my gosh. It's really funny. This is interesting.
I've still not yet read any, so none from me. I've dipped my toe into manga, but not manhwa yet.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I loved Banned Book Club so much. That's probably my main recommendation. And other than that, I don't know that there's anything that I would really recommend.
Was that written in Korean or English, though?
Both. It was released in both.
I was just curious because I know that his wife is Korean and it's her story, but he's American, so I just wasn't sure.
It was published in Korean, and the word manhwa just means graphic novel. It's like the equivalent of graphic. So it doesn't actually even mean Korean graphic novel. It's just because I asked him, I was like, "Is this a manhwa?" And he was like, "Well, that's complicated." So his answer was anything that's illustrated basically is a manhwa, whether it's Korean or not, because it just means graphic novel. But I feel like Banned Book Club, we could say manhwa because written Korean story published in Korea, in Korean, also published here. So
Okay.
that's the
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
yeah, it's complicated, but that's everything else. I feel like I've only read one other like manhwa that was published in Korean originally at the either or at the same time. This other manhwa I read was published in Korean, but it wasn't that great. So I wouldn't recommend it. And I've read parts of other webtoons, but I haven't actually ever finished a whole webtoon. So I'm not probably quite the right one to ask. I guess my problem, a lot of it is I just did get another one. I just got one from the library. But because webtoons are on screens, I just don't have as much time to read on screen. Because of the blue light, it keeps me awake. So I have to read it like during the day, and I don't have that much time during the day. So, man, Yoon would be a good person to ask, though.
Yes.
Dokja Yoon, she has read like a lot of, and Sarah Esther, who created the We Love Jenny website, the archive. She also has read a lot of webtoons, so they would both be really good sources to ask.
Yoon just posted about some edition of manhwa that she had just gotten and she was putting on her shelf, and she was really excited about it, like in her Instagram stories the other day. So,
I don't know if
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, she check out her Instagram posts. She posts frequently on Instagram, I feel like.
More than YouTube, I think. She's a university student. So she's a busy girl.
Yes. University students don't have much time for YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. From Petroglio. That's a good recommend. Thank you. I should check that out. I should check out his channel.
I haven't looked at his manhwa recommendations. So.
Oh, also, Crystal reads them sometimes.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. She reads
I don't know why I didn't even think of her.
Yeah. Why are we just now thinking of her? She originally read the one that I read that I was like, I didn't think it was that great. She thought it was fun, and she's continuing the series. So I would say talk to Crystal as well. From Fiber Artsy. I know you know Tiffany, but
yeah. She's got a Discord as well that has like lots of stuff with like K-pop, K-drama, all that kind of stuff. But there is a whole like big reading section too. And so if you were on that Discord, I bet there are tons of people in there who could give you recommendations.
Yes. And she's hosting an Asian book club this year, and the first quarter, or the first two, it's by every other month.
Yeah, bi-monthly.
And the first pick is a Korean book. So check it out.
It's one that Dia sent me and I haven't read yet.
Ooh.
I haven't read that yet.
Is it one she thought you would like that she didn't?
I said I was interested in it. I was like, oh, that's intriguing. And so she sent it to me. It's 100 Shadows, Dia, in case you were wondering.
Excellent. I feel like Juwon is in the author name, but I can't remember.
I can't remember the author's name at all because I haven't read anything else by this author. So.
Excellent. Okay, at least manhwa books read left to right.
Yeah, unlike manga. You got to retrain your brain for manga because it's right to left.
Yeah. I never had a problem with it. Maybe because I started reading them when I was really young. I read my first manhwa when I was a teenager. And it was like, oh, whatever, sure.
I actually got really confused when I read Band's book club because I was like, oh, I'm not reading right to left because I'm reading manga and it's not a manga. So
oh my gosh, that's funny.
It threw me off many times. I kept trying to read it the other way and it wasn't making sense. Go figure. I was reading the panels in the wrong order. Happened like 4 times.
Oh, there's a manhwa series actually that I liked that Jenny recommended to me. Let me see if I can figure out what it was.
Dia said 100 Shadows is very strange. I remember her saying that.
Ooh, I feel like that's a word that Korean authors, the ones that are translated anyway, a lot of times we come up with, that was strange.
Yeah. Sometimes
they
strange,
like
like my
weird.
jam though. It just depends. I had one book I read this
Yeah.
month that I was like, this is one of the weirdest books, but man, I obsessively read it. So
Yes, you Annihilation, right?
right. Yeah. It's not my kind of
That was
book.
actually one that I recommended to Jenny because she liked plant horror. So I was like, "Oh, Tiffany, you could use that for We Love Jenny."
I didn't even know until after I read it that she had recommended it to Jenny. So but I loved it. It's really weird though. Like really weird. It's a weird
We were
sci-fi.
doing a project.
It's just trippy, but I
Okay.
really
I'm
liked
like
it.
still looking.
No, you're good. That was my
Okay.
second to last one on
I
my
feel like
list.
I'm getting close.
Only got one left. Finally getting there. I told you I had a lot. I read a lot.
You did. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see how many I have left. I have one. I only have two more to talk about. How many do you have?
One because I just talked about
You have one.
Annihilation.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay. I was really like trying to find this manhwa. Unless it was a manga. Actually, it might have been a manga, but set in a Korean like world. A lot of the terms that were used sounded very Korean to me. Boy,
Oh,
I
that's
must not have recorded it on Goodreads. Dang. Well, if I remember it, I'll put it in the pinned comment along with her um, website. Um, okay, for me, The Island. I was watching The Island on Prime, and I think I've watched maybe 4 episodes this month, so I'm on episode 8, or maybe I watched more like 5 episodes. So yeah, I think I'm on episode 8 out of 12, and I'm obsessed. It's so
oh, I love
good.
it.
It's really really good, and it's also romantasy horror, but the row is very light. In fact, I'm not even quite sure if it's there. So it's mostly fantasy horror. I feel like there's how would I there's a lot. It's funny. It's like funny kind of horror, not always like all scary horror, you know? It's not as scary as I thought it would be from the description. But
Okay, because I watched the trailer and I was like, absolutely not. I was like, I will not.
yeah,
I can't watch this.
I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer because I probably also would have been like, no, I didn't. I watched the first opening scene, and it was horror, but it was so corny. I was just like dying laughing. I thought it was so funny. I was like, I think I can handle this.
I love it.
And I have, and it does have the hot priest, as we mentioned. He gets a lot of character development. And there's a brother relationship. Jenny loved a brother relationship.
Yep.
And making it even better, one of the brothers is the hot priest. Um and the main girl is like a martial artist, and she's super cool, but she's also like a saint. It's really interesting. And I'm obsessed. It's really really good. So basically there's a woman who is being chased around by these lust demons, and she's like, why am I being chased by lust demons? Why are they killing people? Why are they trying to kill me? um and this mysterious man has hopped in and saved her a couple times. She's also saved herself. So it's not just like a damsel in distress narrative all the time. They work together. But yeah, he does save her when she needs it. And that's probably where I should leave it. It's really interesting. It's really good. So I'm definitely going to finish it at this point. That's how I'm feeling about it.
You probably don't have that many episodes left, do you? Isn't it a little shorter than the average,
Yeah,
16 episode K-drama?
I think it's 12 episodes, and
Yeah, I
I
was thinking.
think I'm on episode 8, so I'm getting there.
You are. Look at you. And it's when you're watching all on your own too, and you're still getting there.
Yes, exactly. I've been saving a lot of words from it. So I know how to say lust demon in Korean. It's Chongyumgi,
That
in
is so
case anyone's
useful.
wondering.
You're going to use that a lot.
Yes. It's a very important, common, everyday Korean word that I will be using.
I love it.
A very strange book. Okay. I'm interested. I feel like a lot of times strange doesn't work as well for me. So I'm very intrigued to see if it will work. Because if it's Korean strange, it often does. But like other kinds of strange, I'm not usually as patient. With like Korean strange, I'm like, I'm patient. I can handle it. And then I end up loving it.
It is
So
really short too. Like it's not much over 100 pages, I think. So short and strange also works well for you, I think.
yeah,
You
maybe
don't have to
that's
be that
why
patient.
that might be why Korean weird tales work for me because they
Their
keep them
stuff's
short.
usually shorter. Yeah, like Korean literature is usually much shorter. At least the ones I've picked up. I'm sure there are behemoths out there, but most
Mm,
of them seem to be on the shorter edge that are, internationally published anyway.
mm. And in case you're worried about the terms strange and weird as far as Koreans, I feel like they would embrace it. I feel like it's a genre that they would embrace. They
Oh
really
yeah.
like that vibe. Eerie, maybe eerie. I don't know.
Mm.
They like ghosts and scary stuff as
Yeah,
metaphors.
kind of like spooky folklore kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Although
definitely.
I think that one's a little bit more on the sci-fi side. Like I think it's set in a futuristic Seoul. So,
Okay.
so I don't know that it really has very much folklore supernatural stuff, but I don't maybe it does.
I'm intrigued. Sci-fi. Hmm. And also this, thank you for this recommendation. I'm adding it to my list. I feel like the manhwa or the Korean vibey fantasy manhwa that I was talking about, it's like princess something, but it's not Mononoke.
Yeah.
Or yeah. It's like princess Momo. No, it's not Momo. I cannot remember. I'll
It
see if I
doesn't
can
ring a
think.
bell for me, so I can't help. I'm sorry. You must not have talked about that one in depth to me.
Oh, it might have been in my reading like Jenny vlog. I might have read it for that. Let me see if I can find that. Would you want to do your last one while I look it up?
Oh yeah, sure. So the last one is actually a collection of Flannery O'Connor short stories. And Jenny really liked A Good Man is Hard to Find. So that was the title short story of this collection. So, and I guess A Good Man is Hard to Find. There are definitely there's a lot of like darker elements to Flannery in general if you haven't read Flannery O'Connor before. But she makes you think so deeply about human nature and hypocrisy and sin and racism, like all of these kind of like dark elements of human nature. And she tends to just turn things on their heads towards the end in a way that is usually kind of shocking, which is probably why it's considered, like Southern Gothic horror.
Yes.
But I wouldn't call it like horror, just more like horrifying things might happen. Because it was written long enough ago that it was probably considered more horrifying in its day than it is now. But I loved it. I love everything I've read by Flannery O'Connor. So I still think my favorite thing I've read by her is the collection of Everything That Rises Must Converge. Like I like that short story collection a little better than A Good Man is Hard to Find, but the one that I like better was actually published posthumously. So those would have been like some of her last short stories. So maybe that's why. But I just love I feel like she's one of those authors where she says so much in a few words Like, even the novels she wrote were shorter novels, and still, it's like she's one of those authors where you feel like not a single word is wasted. And there's so much symbolism in there, and like there's so much depth and so much to chew on in Flannery. So I loved it.
So true. That was a really good description of it. I
Love me
agree
some
with you. I
Flannery.
think
Thank you, Christy. Christy introduced me to Flannery. I bought Everything That Rises Must Converge on a whim after she mentioned it on her channel, and then I was obsessed. So,
yay.
all Christy.
I agree with you about Everything That Rises Must Converge. Wow. That short story is incredible. And A Good Man Is Hard to Find was just like a what? That to me was like a what is this? Like I think people found it funny, but I didn't get it as much.
Yeah.
Whereas Everything That Rises Must Converge was like I get it and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all of them, like, I have favorites in each one. So,
Mhm.
each collection. But yeah, I definitely had ones that I really, really, really loved. I loved, oh man, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Good Country People. I really liked that one
Oh
a
yeah.
lot. And I
That was
loved the displaced persons or something like that. I don't remember. It was the last one. And I loved
mm.
The River, of course.
Yay. I'm glad. I love The River too.
So, and
That
I
one was
really
a
liked
sweet
The
quiet.
Life You Save May Be Your Own, actually was another favorite in that collection as well.
Mhm.
So
So many good ones.
there is, like, I was highlighting which ones were my favorites, and it was like 6 of the 10. So I really liked it
Yay!
overall. There was none of
That's
them that I'm
good.
like, I hate this.
That's
So
pretty rare for a collection to be like, I love 6 out of 10 of these. Like, that's really good.
yeah, well, I mean, I feel the same way about Everything That Rises Must Converge. I think
Mhm.
over half of them were all like, I think there was like 1 or 2 of them that I was like, "What are you saying? You're going
I'm
too deep.
lost.
You've left me behind. I'm drowning trying to get to this depth. I can't get there."
Oh man, I feel like I never really heard Jenny talk about Flannery O'Connor, and now I really want want to. Does anybody know? Did she talk about her in videos at all?
I don't know. Like, she's the way she talks about stuff, I can see her just like loving everything about Flannery.
Yeah.
I don't know how I stumbled across it, but she like gave a really high rating to A Good Man Is Hard to Find
Yeah,
on
it's
Goodreads.
probably on her Goodreads. I mean, that wouldn't
It
surprise
was.
me.
That's where I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna include this because I want to read it anyway." So just like one more thing I
Perfect.
could put on there.
Providential.
For sure.
We talked about Flannery generally, but it was mostly me talking. So she didn't give me her opinions, which made me think, does she not like it very much? I kind of wondered maybe she didn't like Flannery that much because she wasn't like, I know, right? Isn't she amazing? She was, I was like, man, I need to like join a fan club or something. And she's like, there would be fan clubs for her. You would be able to find them, I'm sure. So she set me off on finding a fan club journey, and I found the sweatshirt. So
I love that
thank you,
sweatshirt
Jenny.
so much.
I know, me too. Oh, nice, Stephanie. I didn't know you'd read that. It is really thought provoking
Mhm.
because, yeah, it's like the people in this story. Is this grandma? Is she? I feel like it was really comparing the grandma. Well, I can't really get into it without spoiling
Yeah.
spoiling things. But yeah, I recently got a comment saying that I spoiled something. So now I'm like, I should be more careful about spoilers. So we should box about it, Stephanie. Text me.
I don't know anything about Alice Munro, so
Oh, yeah, me neither.
I don't follow Scandal very well.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Yeah.
found out about the Neil Gaiman scandal way after everyone else knew about it. I was like, "What are people talking about?"
Oh my
Because
god.
it's on everywhere on BookTube. So
I didn't even know there was one.
yeah,
Oh dear. Oh dear.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe 10 years. Oh wow. Okay.
Mm.
Maybe you don't want to talk about it then. If it's been 10 years, you might not remember it very well.
I remember it really well if you read it soon, since I just read it this month. The whole thing.
Okay. Going back a little bit for manga, Kimi ni Todoke. Oh, okay. Thank you. And that's uh-oh. I guess we'll see. We'll see this month.
I have a few. I've read a few Korean works that felt that way, where I felt like I didn't get it, and then I was kind of like, is it that it's just like badly translated, and there are things that just like don't transcend our cultures well enough for me to understand what's going on, or maybe it wasn't translated very well, or I wonder that a lot
Mm,
actually, because I don't feel the same way about Japanese literature, but Japanese literature, it seems like, has been translated into English longer.
mm.
And I feel like Korean is just starting to get much more popular, kind of like mainstream being translated, you
Yes.
know? So it's,
I think
and
that's
that was another thing where I'm like, I'm really eager for like some original Korean fantasy to make it
Mhm.
into American like mainstream and to be translated. But right now, the things that are being translated from Korean are often things that feel more literary in nature. So,
They're going for the award winners, so they're picking
right,
out those.
right. But I want Korean genre fiction so bad.
Yes. I know,
So
because
bad.
right now we're all just like, Hangang! That's what we know. We know Hangang, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, Hangang is great. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's a whole new world out there that we're just dipping our toes into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Although reading Hangang actually has been interesting in Korean because it's like really simple Korean from like what I've been reading. Like all the words are recognizable to me, and I'm like lower intermediate. So I was like, wow, like she writes it. It's like a Malcolm Gladwell to me, almost. It feels like she writes it so that anybody could read it and understand it, but it's the thoughts that she's conveying that you're like, whoa. So yeah, she does poetry too. I think that's part of it. A lot of times
Mm,
poets, they can say a lot with simple few words. Modern poets can.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh, lots of manga have a K-drama version too. Yeah, I think Korean culture and Japanese culture influence each other a lot. And there's
Yeah.
like all kinds of like Japanese members in Korean groups, and like Korean idols are they're not really influenced by American kind of idols as much as they are Japanese idols. Like they like American singers and they all know them. You know, they know all the American singers, they know the songs, but their presentation is much more like Japanese idols. So I feel like Korean pop culture and Japanese pop culture have a lot of crossover, like a
Yeah,
lot of crossover.
definitely.
And like a lot of them know both languages. Like it's really common for them to know each other's languages. So that
Yeah.
helps.
It's a lot of trilingual people in Korea that speak
Mhm.
English, Korean, and Japanese.
And English. Did you say English? Sorry.
I did. There's a lot of them that speak Mandarin too, though. So
Yeah, I know. I think in my head I was thinking Chinese because they learn at least older generations of Koreans. Like it might not be like younger generations of Koreans, but like my older Korean friend learned Hanja in school, which is it's kind of like a Korean transliteration of Chinese. So they know a lot of Chinese words because a lot of their root words are from Chinese words. And they even have
mhm.
like the two number systems, Chinese and Korean number systems. So
Right.
lots of crossover in all three of those nations.
Yeah.
actually prefer the Japanese drama of Playful Kiss. Oh, interesting.
I haven't watched a J drama yet.
A what drama?
A J drama.
A
I've only watched J
J.
dramas.
Jenny liked Japanese television a lot. She really liked Alice in Borderland. And that's a literary one, kind of one too, because Alice in Wonderland. All right. Let's see. Christy, what are my last two? Yes, we should get to that. Let me finish the comments first. I have the right to destroy myself. Oh, thank you, Mimi. A good K-drama or a J-drama? Oh, a book by Kim Young-ha. Thank you. I'm going to get that out too. There we go. All right. Yes, they do. They often will release
Yep.
the whole albums.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying?
I just said, yep, they do.
So my last one is Rouge by Mona Awad, which will be a quick one because I DNF'd it.
Oh.
So I really enjoyed Bunny by Mona Awad last January. And so I wanted to try another one by her. But I wonder if maybe one Mona Awad was enough for me. I feel like I got a feel for her style and I really enjoyed it in Bunny. And in Rouge, there was a lot of, I mean, it was still like this really savage satire this time of the skincare industry. And it was really funny. And it's like pitch perfect. And it's still very surrealist. And I didn't care. Like, just not that much was happening. And I didn't really care about the characters. So I think I DNF'd it around 30 or 40%, somewhere around there. So yeah. I'll probably still try All's Well just because I'm interested in the subject matter. And I thought, well, maybe I just need to read another one where the subject matter itself is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in All's Well for the subject matter as well.
maybe next year we can read it. And then the last thing that I wanted to share is I did find that manga. It's called Yona of the Dawn. So I will screen share it. This is the one that Jenny loved and recommended to me, and I enjoyed it as well.
Oh, it looks cute.
It is cute. So that is that. Well, why don't we wrap it up here? This has been a pretty long live stream.
It's been fun, though. We had some good side tangents.
Agreed. Thank you. I've heard that. I've heard it might be a little intense to read if you have chronic pain. It like heightens it.
That's why I didn't read it in January. I was like,
Yeah.
Maybe in a happier month than
Yes.
January that tends to depress me anyways.
Yeah. It feels like it would add to that.
That's what I was thinking.
This vibe. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I could see that. Thank you guys so much for coming and celebrating Jenny with us and remembering her with us. And make sure to go check out that We Love Jenny archive if you haven't yet, and I will share it in the comments. And yeah, thanks again, and hopefully we'll see you guys next year. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.